All right, welcome to this video here where we're going to be taking a look at how to find the volume of a cone. This is a second part of a lesson that also looked at finding the volume of a pyramid and how could we do that using some fun little tools. So let's take a look at a cone. Simply, this is what a cone looks like. This is how it's going to be described. I'm just going to move my video over on top. Hopefully it's all out of the way now. And so this is going to help us to describe what a cone is. You'll notice that two dimensions that we need for a cone, we need a radius and we need a height. If we're given the slant height, we will need to use Pythagorean theorem and the radius in order to solve for the height, because we need the radius and the height to solve for the volume of a cone. Now, in class, what I would usually do is I would do a little demonstration using these two shapes. You'll notice there we have a cylinder and we have a cone. They have the exact same base. Okay, it's that green piece that's on the bottom. They have the exact same heights, and we want to try to figure out how do these two compare in size. Okay, if you've seen or been a part of me doing the one with the pyramid, you will probably guess that the pyramid or the cone is 1/3 the size of the cylinder. And you are right. Yeah. Okay. So that is in fact right. There's some words there behind my head. There you go. The cone has a volume that is 1/3 the size of the cylinder. And so therefore we can find the volume of a cone by knowing the volume of a cylinder with the same height and the same base. Just divide that number by 3. So this is going to help us figure out the volume of a cone. So here's our cone. Our volume formula is pi r squared h. Okay, that's the volume for a cylinder. Divide that by 3 and you have the volume of a cone. So your volume formula for a cone is base times height divided by 3. Okay, or base area times height divided by 3. The base is a cylinder, pi r squared, multiply by the height, and then divide that by 3. You'll notice that you need the radius, you need the height. Those are the only two things that you need in order to solve for the volume of a cone. All right, let's go through some examples here. I'd like you to try these examples on your own. So pause the video once I've kind of stopped talking and then try to solve it, do some calculations. Unpause the video and we'll see if you got the right answer. If you did, that's awesome. If you didn't, that's okay. But we're going to hopefully figure out where we've made mistakes and then make sure that we're getting correct answers from then on. So try this one out. Okay, give it a shot. See if you get the right answer. And I may have to move my video a couple more times yet, but try to get the answer and come back once you think you have it. All right, let's take a look and try to find the answer here. So here we have a cone. It's upside down. Best way for a cone. Holds lots of ice cream that way. And we want to try to find the volume that we can put in there. Okay, the volume of ice cream. Yeah. No, not really. Okay, let's just look at the volume of this cone. Here's our formula. Sorry, it's coming up right here. There we go. Pi r squared h divided by 3. We have a radius of 6 yards, a height of 12 yards, and when we plug that into our formula, we should get a volume of 452.39 cubic yards. Now again, I have used the pi button on my calculator instead of 3.14. If you use 3.14, you will get a slightly smaller answer as your total. Okay, hope we got that one. Let's try this one out here. Yeah, I'm going to have to move this thing over a little bit. Make my face a little smaller. Sorry. You don't get to see as much of my face. Let's go like that. Make it a little bigger. All right. Here we go. Find the volume of this cone. Pause the video. Come back when you have an answer. All right. Let's come up with our answer here. Our formula, pi r squared h divided by 3. We are given a height of 8 feet. We are given a diameter of 26 feet, which means that we have to divide that by 2 in order to come up with our radius. So plug the divided by 2, there you go, 13. So we have a radius of 13, hopefully you caught that. And we have 8 as our height. Put that all in and you should get about 1,415.81 cubic feet. Don't forget the cubic feet there at the end. And now I'm going to change my face over here just because I got to move it around all over the place. But now I can make it a little bigger. I don't think we have anything else in that area. All right, are we ready for the next one? Let's get a word problem in there. We have an ice cream cone, has a circumference of 12.5 centimeters. Ooh, another measurement. And a depth or height of 13 centimeters. draw a diagram, and then determine the volume of ice cream that's going to fit in that cone. Give it a shot, pause the video, come back when you think you have your answer. All right, let's take a look. What I mentioned there is to draw a diagram, okay? I always encourage everybody to draw a diagram, okay? There's my circle. Here is my cone. There we go, okay? Because it sometimes just helps us to figure out what are we trying to find and what are we given. Now, this cone has diameter, has height, and we might know some of these pieces in order to solve, okay? Now, the best thing about, oh, sorry, there's the ice cream, but we're not looking for ice cream on top, just on the inside. All right. We need to find the radius, and we're given circumference. So radius is circumference divided by 2 pi. That means you got to divide it by pi and then divide it by 2. Okay, so our radius is 1.99 centimeters. There we go. Now use that to solve for the volume. So our volume formula is there. Plug the radius in, plug the height in, and you should get about 54 cubic centimeters or 53.88 cubic centimeters of ice cream. Did you get that? Woohoo! Yeah, I could go for some ice cream right now. See ya. No, I'm just joking. Maybe later. Okay, let's try another one. We got a couple more here. Here we have a cone. It is given, you're given the slant height and the diameter. Can you find the volume? Give it a shot. Try it out. Unpause the video when you have your answer. All right, let's see if we can come up with our answer here. So we're given the slant height, it means we have to find the height, and we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to do that. I'm going to show the rearranged version there. C squared minus b squared equals a squared. C is going to be the slant height, b is going to be the radius, be careful it's the radius, and a is going to be our height. I'm going to take the radius there of 13, plug that all in, and we should get a height of about 36.77 inches. Did you get that? I think you did. I think you got that. That's good. Okay. So let's use that then in order to find our volume. Now, when I go through and do this, I try to keep that whole answer, not the rounded one. So yours might look a little bit different than mine. That's okay, depending on how you rounded your answer. Use the volume formula. Use again the radius, because we have to use the radius, not the diameter. Use the height, not the slant height. And we should get a volume of 6,507.34 cubic inches. Did you get it? Yay! I'm assuming you got it, just because I know you're smart. Yeah, you got this. All right. That is the end of the lesson for today. There's going to be an assignment to go over. Make sure that you try to solve, check the answer key, and maybe ask a neighbor for some help. If you're unsure about how to solve something, ask for help, not for other questions. Yeah. Hope you have a good rest of the class. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you next time.